See mass shootings as a problem?
No.
What about all the tariffs and everything that caused the economy to plummet that he implemented?
Amen. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, President Trump.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though people's 401ks have just plummeted, someone who wanted to retire has lost a ton of their money and they might not feel they can retire anymore. Is that okay?
Yeah, I guess they keep working if they invested in the wrong stuff.
Like a 401k?
Yeah, 401k that invested in foreign products.
So just keep working?
Keep working.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that hits home for just about everyone, the cost of living in America, and why it's still sky high, even after the government rolled back some tariffs on Chinese imports. So if you're wondering why groceries, rent, and basic necessities still feel unaffordable, stick around. Let's start with the basics. Over the past few years, the US placed heavy tariffs on a range of Chinese goods. The idea? To protect American manufacturing and pressure China on trade practices. But the downside? Those tariffs made imported goods more expensive for US consumers and businesses. Now fast forward to today. The government has eased some of those tariffs. The expectation was that prices would fall, right? But here we are, still paying $7 for a box of cereal and struggling with $2,000 rent in cities where wages haven't kept up.
I voted for him for lower grocery prices. He promised me cheaper prices on groceries. And that has not happened. Not only has that not happened, I am getting my food stamps taken. I am getting my cash assistance taken. I am getting my Section 8 taken. I am getting all my welfare governments taken. I did not ask for this. I would not have voted for him if I knew this was going to happen.
Do you know what drives me insane about these people that say that if I would have known, I wouldn't have voted for him, or I did not vote for that? Yes, you did. The first thing that bothers me is yes, you did. You see, you voted for those things. You just thought it would happen to someone else. You were perfectly fine with other people losing programs, losing things that would benefit them. You just didn't think it would touch you. You thought you were safe from losing these programs. And the other part is they say they didn't know. Bull crap. Bull crap. The left, independents, lots of different economic experts, doctors, scientists have been screaming about all the horrible things that Donald Trump would do. We told you about Project 2025. We told you how many times his name was listed in Project 2025. And we told you how many of his own staffers were in there as well or helped write it. But you guys didn't believe us. You guys said fake news. We tried to warn you. You didn't either want to listen, or your bigotry and your racism, your homophobia and your sexism didn't allow you to see what was coming. So the bed that you made, you now have to lie on. The sad thing is that so many of us are in the same bed with you, but we didn't vote that way. We knew that these things were going to happen. We knew that this was going to cause havoc for everybody. And look, I'm sorry for you. I feel horrible that you're going to lose all these benefits, but you did vote for this. So if you want something to change, I suggest you call your congressperson and tell them to put a leash on Donald Trump and stop him in Congress. I suggest instead of just coming on this app and whining and complaining about what you yourself created, you call your representative and do something about it. Otherwise, we here on the left and independent, we don't care. We warned you. All my love.
So what gives? Why isn't life getting cheaper? Well, for starters, tariffs are just one piece of the puzzle. Even without them, we're still dealing with corporate price hikes. Many companies raised prices during inflation, and surprise, they're not in a rush to lower them now that their costs are easing. Housing shortage, home prices and rents are through the roof due to low inventory, high demand, and limited new construction. Healthcare and childcare costs, these never really stopped rising, and they take up a big chunk of the average household budget. Wage stagnation, let's be real. Most wages haven't kept pace with inflation or productivity growth for decades.
Americans are not paying their credit cards, they're not paying their student loans, and they're not paying their auto loans. We are headed into a recession, but I have a question for you. Now, before I ask you that, I'm going to show you I'm not kidding. If you look at this on the bottom side for auto loans right here, we are mirroring what happened back in 2008. There is a lot of people that are not paying their auto loans right now. Now, we also know just a few days ago, student loans went to collections, about 5 million of them, and we've seen people's credit scores get destroyed from this. Now, Americans can't even pay their credit cards. We're looking at 2008 levels on people not paying their credit cards. The difference is this time there's $1.2 trillion in debt and 12% of people are not paying that. Now, I talk about interest rates, the economy, the stock market all the time, and I have a question for you. How much does it cost you to live per month? Per month. Tell me how many are in your household, like family of 4, family of 5, whatever it is, and how much is your total monthly expenses, what you spend on gas, what you spend on groceries, what you spend on bills, how much does it all add up combined? I'm really curious to see this because the data that we have right now says that we're headed into a pretty nasty recession if it hasn't already started, and Americans cannot afford their current lives. Let me know down in the comments. I'm going to make a future video on this.
Guys, are tariff cuts just political optics? Some critics say the recent tariff cuts are more about looking like progress than actually solving deep-rooted economic problems. It's a good headline, but it doesn't magically fix supply chains, lower corporate greed, or build affordable housing. And the reality is, a lot of companies already adjusted their supply chains during the trade war. They passed costs on to us, consumers, and now that the tariffs are lower, they're just pocketing the difference.
People are broke, and now there's proof showing up in the numbers. Kellogg's reported an 8.6% drop in cereal sales. Crocs pulled its entire financial forecast. Heineken says people are drinking less. And even global giants like Nestle are seeing sales fall across the board. And what's scary about this, it's not about cutting luxuries. People are walking away from everyday items. Candy, snacks, fast food, takeout. Last Saturday, I went for lunch at a popular restaurant. Usually packed at noon, we expected a wait. Instead, we were just a handful of people there. Because consumers are cutting back hardest on items that bring joy. Chips, chocolate, going out to dinner. Not because they want to, because simply they don't have the fucking money. And companies know it. Forecasts are being pulled. Behind the scenes, they see the truth. Demand just isn't slowing. It's fucking collapsing. After 5 brutal years, Americans are barely hanging on, and now the administration slaps tariffs on top of it. It's like throwing gasoline on an already burning house. These families are one missed paycheck away from financial collapse. Americans aren't tightening belts anymore. They've run out of fucking notches.
If we really want to tackle the cost of living crisis, it's going to take more than tariff tweaks. We need real wage growth tied to the cost of living. Investments in affordable housing and public services. More transparency around corporate pricing. And yes, smarter trade policy that doesn't make life harder for working people.
Is so high, insurance is through the roof, groceries, your gas, all of your basic expenses, everything is just kind of eating away at all of your paycheck. And there's not much left behind anymore. And it's not necessarily because people aren't budgeting or because they need to work harder. It's just so expensive. There does come a point where it is really difficult to keep up with all of the expenses. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's a system that is squeezing out the ordinary people, and billionaires are getting bailouts. And even though sometimes it feels like we just can't cut back enough, there are certain things that a lot of times we can still do. And that's what I like to encourage people with. So basically starting with, tracking all of your dollars, tracking your money, really sitting down and seeing where your money is going every month and figuring out, are there ways that we can reduce that / unnecessary reoccurring expenses? So any kind of memberships or things that are just taking money from you that you don't necessarily need, I would / that right away. Netflix, the gym, any other kind of membership. If you don't need it, just get rid of it. Cooking more at home is another huge one. Not eating out. Everything is so expensive nowadays. I mean, you can go to a fast food restaurant and you're paying restaurant prices, like sit down at a restaurant type of pricing. And it's ridiculous. There is absolutely no reason why 2 people should have to go to a fast food establishment and pay $25 for 2 simple things. I mean, that just really goes to show you how far we've come. And I'm a huge proponent of downsizing. So downsizing your vehicle, don't get the fancy cell phone, the new cell phone, have a smaller house, a cheaper rent. You need to downsize. That way you can have more breathing room. Usually there's always something that we can downsize with. It's just a matter of being willing to do so. And then I'm a huge advocate of building up some type of side hustle, whether it's some type of landscaping, babysitting, selling a product on an online platform like Etsy, or selling things on Facebook Marketplace. That's a really great one. Or you could be flipping items like flipping cars or flipping couches. You can sell old clothing. There's so many different things that people can do to try and make some extra money. And little by little, it does add up. Also, when you are grocery shopping, stock up on deals when you do find them. So if you find items that are on sale, they're a good deal right now, get some extra of those items because the prices are going to keep going up. So you can get some savings there. Also, try and do more things yourself. If it's like basic car maintenance, any types of things that maybe need to be repaired, even just taking care of your own pest control, different things that it's common for a lot of people to just outsource. Try and do those things yourself if you can. And then you have to work hard at staying mentally tough. The world can make people feel broken and hopeless, but we need to stay focused, stay hopeful, stay connected, and just know that all we can do is keep doing the best that we can and trying to push for.
So, what do you think? Are tariff cuts just smoke and mirrors? Why do you think the cost of living is still so brutal? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it helped you make sense of the madness. Until next time, take care and keep questioning everything.